anything for some time. I do anything, yeah. I do anything for some time. I do anything for some peace of mind, yeah. I do anything get me right. I do anything get me out of my mind, yeah. I do anything for some time. I do anything for some peace of mind, yeah. I do anything get me right, yeah. I do anything get me out of my mind, yeah. I do anything, yeah. I do anything for some reason, trying to put the pieces, yeah. I do anything, messing around with psychedelics deep in, yeah. I do anything for a reason, just to quit sleeping in. When you all alone feeling weak, and that's when them demons hit. I've been over my head, trying to keep pushing. Got some hard problems where I need cushion, yeah. Take my mind off it, taking in toxins, I know I shouldn't, yeah. But ain't been no options lately, ain't been so many losses lately. Man, I feel like I lost it daily. I've been running through weeds, chopping up trees, planting my seeds, baby. Stay in my head, I cannot leave, it's like a disease, baby. Going through it alone, whether you stay or whether you leave, baby. So hard to love when it ain't no love, you got what I need, baby. You got what I need. Take control of me, when I'm holding grief, you consoling me. I've been riding for you, know I hold it down, cause you holding me, yeah. Dripping down in my polo socks, strip you down, we gon' throw those off, yeah. Cause I do anything for some time. I do anything for some peace of mind, yeah. I do anything get me right. I do anything get me out of my mind, yeah. I do anything for some time.
What is up, y'all, and welcome to a brand new episode of Lien On Me. Thank you. There it is. There's that beautiful logo of mine that I like to put right over my face with headphones. I love it. It's like a talking logo. I gotta change my voice or something. What's up, everybody? Thank you so much for tuning in. As always, we have a great show prepared for you guys today. Before we get started, as always, I want to bring in my co-host, man who helps me, who has a lot more knowledge on a lot more things than I do, so basically depend on him to give me the right opinions here. What is up, Paul? How are you doing, man?
Pretty good, and that greatly depends upon which we are talking about. Because if we're talking about like box office or anything going on with producers or directors, you know so much more than me because I could care less about that.
Well, you know quite a bit as well.
No, but I mean, like as far as like breaking news, like this guy is doing this and this guy is doing that. I don't know. I don't pay attention to that.
But the comic stuff, you're pretty on top of.
That is, you could call that my niche, yeah.
You could call that my niche, right? Well, before we get started, first of all, I want to shout out all of our members, which let's see if Ty has put he has not, so I got to switch the brand here. 1 second. Let me switch so we can shout out our members. I really hope there's members in this one. Oh, great, there's not. That's great. Hey, maybe Kate. There we go. Hey, Kaden. Shout out Kaden, our producer. That's always comes in clutch there. Shout out to Saggy Melons, Benson's, Resident Justice, Prakash Swain, DC Talk with Extended, That One Carlos, Caden Reed, Nick Carr, John Rodell, Justin Hines, Billy Robert, Adam Silvestri, Kinky Sphincter, still my favorite name, Sean Adame, Nick DePalmo, Roblox Marvel Ultimate. You guys are the best. We appreciate you guys so much. You're good. And thank you so much for being members. We got a lot of things going on here this month as far as incentives to be a member. And the giveaway isn't in this one either, so that's great. We'll just go to Jack for a second, then we'll do the giveaway. But this month, where is the giveaway? Oh, that's just great. Kaden, maybe you can find the giveaway. I'll just talk about it in the meantime because we are giving away 2 copies of Justice League, Zack Snyder's Justice League on Blu-ray this month. So for anybody who is a member or becomes a member, you are entered to win one of those 2 copies. So that is one of the incentives this month. And we have a lot of other cool things coming too. So that should be fun. Also, want to talk about just real quick, for those of you who don't know, I am still gonna be here, like with Jiving with Jack and in different scenarios and different panels and things like that. But for the most part, I'm stepping down as a team member, and we going on to start my own channel, the Little Big City Network, which is it's the site is up now. There's nothing on there, obviously, but you can go subscribe and check it out and all that stuff. But yeah, we're gonna have new shows coming on the 23rd is the official launch date. There's gonna be a lot of cool things like live music performances, interviews, other different talk shows, kind of like mine. So we'll have some sports talk shows. So Paul will probably be interested in that, hopefully as well. And TW, hopefully, maybe we'll get Paul and TW on a stream one day, and get them to actually talk all this sports stuff out. Instead of just in the comments, right? But with that, let's go ahead and get started. Let's so did you see No Time to Die?
I did.
Okay, all right. Well, what did you think, man? I saw No Time to Die. I freaking loved it.
I did too. I thought it was one of my favorite one of my favorite movies that I have seen in a while. I really liked it. I liked it more than Black Widow. I liked it more than Shang-Chi. I liked it more than yeah, it's been a while since I've seen something I liked more than that, and that surprised me. I don't not like James Bond movies, but I mean they're hit and miss. Like Casino Royale is great, Quantum of Solace is okay, Skyfall is great, but it's kind of just the Dark Knight light, and then Spectre.
Whoa! You just gotta come out of Skyfall like this. Skyfall is a masterpiece, man. That is the high point of this James Bond series.
I think I think it's a close second behind. Well, I don't know. I like this last one a lot.
Okay. You know what? I think this is the closest to, like, they're very.
I think Casino Royale is the best.
Yeah.
But Spectre is a really long, really boring movie,
Yes.
and No Time to Die is a really long, really good movie. And I didn't feel the length at all. I think. Cary Fukunaga wrote it and directed it, and I did not know that, and I was like, I really like this. And then I saw his name in the credits, and I was like,
yep. Beast of No Nation and
Beast of No Nations.
Was it the first season of True Detective that he directed?
I think he directed.
No, Nick Palazzo wrote it.
Well, then yeah, directed it, but he
directed.
He's great, and he does a lot of really good stuff. And that I was like, wow, this movie's really long, but it's packed. Everything that's in it feels like it needs to be in it. It's good. And then I saw him, and I was like, makes sense.
Yeah, I agree. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was, right next to Skyfall for me. And Skyfall is like probably one of my favorite, not just like Bond movies, but like movies. I really love Skyfall.
I think it's great.
And then I think we'll go ahead and just since there's not too many people here right now, we can kind of talk about. So spoilers, everybody. Just so you know, we're gonna talk a spoiler of James Bond because I want to talk about it. And it seems to be this seems to be the part that like made or broke the movie for people. Like it got to this point and people were like, okay, I don't like the movie anymore. And that was, again, spoilers, blah blah blah. James Bond dies at the end of this film. There are some people who are very upset about that. Very upset about that. I mean, this is the first time James Bond has ever died in a movie.
Is it? Whoa, I didn't know that.
I believe so. I believe this is the first time that he's ever been killed off in the franchise. I just I don't know. A lot of people were not like that. That seemed to turn a lot of people off. I was talking to somebody, and they were like, as soon as they saw that, it just kind of took them out of the movie. Especially how exaggerated he goes out. The way it is. It is kind of for a Bond series that's tried to be more set in reality. This definitely was a. Was it an exaggerated way to go out? I think for this Bond, but I liked it. It suited. I thought it suited him.
It didn't feel like something that couldn't happen. Like if you know what I mean. Like it didn't feel like skiing on water while a glacier fucking collapses behind you. Not that Pierce Brosnan dies in that scene, but that's like that's not a real thing that can happen. but it felt fine to me. I mean, I liked it. The minute there's again spoilers, there's a part where he puts his jacket around a little girl, and I guess I won't spoil that part or the relevancy of that. But the minute he did that, I was like, oh, he's dead. I was like, he ain't coming back.
He ain't coming back. Yeah.
I was like, he just gave the jacket to her. Yeah. And then he finds like the little girl's like stuffed animal later. Like shortly after, and I'm like, oh yeah, he is for sure gonna die.
I mean, yeah, I thought look, for this Bond, I thought it was fitting that he gets killed off. You know, I also really enjoyed, the whole sequence with him and Ana de Armas.
The Armas,
yeah, whatever her name is, but she's hot. I
what's
really
it called? What's that movie she's in? That's really good. No, not that one. That one's really good, but she is
Blade Runner 2049.
Not that one either. That one's really, really good.
She's in all the good ones.
Yeah, but she's like a main character in the movie. Why can't I remember? She's like the what do you want to call it? She's like the MacGuffin in the movie. What's the freaking name of the movie?
Are you sure it's not Knives Out?
Might not even be her. No, I'm pretty sure it's her. It's not. I keep wanting to say iRobot. What is the name of the movie? Oscar Isaacs, Donald Gleason,
Ex Machina. That's Alicia Vikander.
Oh, okay. See, I'm wrong. I'm wrong. There you go. I'm wrong. See,
this guy.
See, I don't know everything.
This guy.
I really thought that was her. Oh, that's funny. I think maybe I got Blade Runner and that mixed up because they're both like not real robot people.
Right. Blade. Yeah, she wasn't Blade Runner. She was the robot. For Gosling.
Yeah. Whoops. But you know what I mean. She's in good stuff. She's great.
I enjoyed her little sequence there, and then I enjoyed kind of the storyline of seeing them. After he retires, they give the mantle. 007 goes on to somebody else. And,
I'm sure that made somebody mad somewhere too.
Oh yeah, that made a lot of people mad. You already know that made a lot of people mad.
Because I remember that made people mad when it was announced because it was something that was said before the movie came out.
Exactly, and it wasn't really explained. It was kind of like people thought that the new James Bond was gonna be a woman and all this stuff, and it was not. It just didn't turn out to be the case. I think people freak out before knowing the whole story and all that. Kind of like something we're going to talk about a little bit later today.
Yeah.
With this whole Jonathan Kent news and all that. But before we get into that, I guess there's not like a real official box. There's not a box office report. Caden, why? Why?
That's accurate.
I guess there's not like a real box office report or something, a reliable one, is what our producer Caden says. But I do know, No Time to Die did kind of underperform for what was expected. It's not that it did poorly; it did really well. It had I believe, a $50 to $60 million opening.
Yep.
But it was, I think, a week ago they were projecting 100 million.
I think it did really well overseas. I think it's at like 400 million overseas, like internationally. Which I mean, that money counts too.
Yes, absolutely. And you know what? This is either way. This movie is a success right now, which is a big deal because it's been pushed back, it's been delayed. There's been a lot of money put into this movie and a lot of money to be lost if it's
I think I've mentioned this before, either here or my Into the West. I think this movie needed like 800,000 at the box office to recoup, like to actually make like a profit in its theatrical run, because how much the pushbacks and like the like they did a bunch of promotions, then it didn't come out. They did a bunch of promotions, didn't come out. And then they had to update stuff in the movie to have new stuff in the movie because, Bond kind of like runs on that kind of thing, like selling products, like it or not. That is what Bond's is about.
Exactly. He's got a Coca-Cola next to his shaken, not stirred. Exactly. Yeah. Power Talk, what's up, Power Talk? Power Talk says injustice is an injustice. We're going to talk a little bit about that. Paul and I we pride ourselves in not being heathens and watching films illegally. No, I'm kidding. If you did, I don't care. But we didn't.
We just haven't watched it.
We just haven't watched it. We kind of do every now and again, but we just haven't watched it. And honestly, didn't know it was really out until like yesterday, or that it leaked or whatever. So you know, we'll definitely. I know Tom Taylor has been dealing with a lot of just lovely fans, just lovely people out there. But just George says the only issue I had with the film was Malik's villain that held it back for me. Other than that, I love the movie. I kind of agree. Malik is not a real intimidating
No,
person.
and I think he works. I think I enjoyed him.
He's
but
good, yeah.
I think a couple of times he was annoying, not menacing. Like the spoilers again, just in case anybody news in the chat. Looks like we got a couple more people.
Right.
We are spoiling No Time to Die. There's a scene where he's sitting at a table and he has someone hostage, and that whole scene, he was just like seemed like an annoying little prick who had a bunch of people around him and no actual power. Like it was just him being annoying and being like it was just annoying to watch. And I was like,
I agree.
please kill this guy. And then eventually, I don't think it's much of a spoiler that James Bond does end up killing the villain in this movie.
Yeah.
He killed him, and I was like, yes. And I don't know if it was for the right reasons though. Like, you want to kill him because they stopped this evil this guy was trying to put out in the world, all the destruction he was going to cause. I was happy he was dead because he was annoying. It's the same way I would be happy if the Joker died in the Snyderverse. I would be happy not because he was a tyrant, but because he was annoying.
Hey man, I still say give him. He needs a little extra time before I agree with you. Give me an extra 20, an extra 20 minutes of footage or something. Give me a little bit more for me to decide.
I think Malik worked. I think his initial scene was really, really good, even though it's him, but it's not him.
Yeah, his introduction. Yes.
That scene is great.
It is. And he is a good actor. He's a very good actor.
Something about his lips. I think that's what it was. It was just so annoying. His lips were quivering like the whole time.
The way
I was like, "You little weirdo, what are you doing?"
He's a little bit like the. I mean, it was weird. It didn't take me out like George said.
No,
it didn't hold me back. But I definitely see because, look, he's Remy's no Javier Bardem and that villain, and he's not even like even Christoph. Even though the movie was terrible, Christoph is still far more intimidating. Christoph Waltz, in my opinion, than Malik. Gavin says Venom Let There Be Carnage is crushing it. Week 2 still made a lot. It did make a lot, but I also think what was the dip? It was like a 50% dip or something. But that's very normal for these Marvel movies.
And it had normal for any movie.
Yeah, and it had a killer box off opening weekend, like
90, right?
Yeah, like 90 million, and then I don't even know what it did internationally. But
what was I gonna say? Something about James Bond. I don't remember. Go ahead. Keep saying
James Bond. Yeah. But I think that about wraps it up on our James Bond. Overall, I like the movie a lot. I think it's probably it's up there with Skyfall. It's one of the best in the franchise. It's a high note for Daniel Craig, and I enjoyed it. I really, really liked it.
I think I really, really, really enjoyed it. I think the main henchman in this one I like a lot.
That's an extra, really, man. I don't know. That's a lot. That's
especially coming from me, right? No,
right.
But the main henchman in this one I liked a lot. I liked it more than I liked Dave Bautista in the last one because he didn't do very much. He looked cool, but this guy looked cool. He did a lot. I think he was actually had an impact on the story. I enjoyed it. I don't really have anything bad to say about it. The villain was kind of annoying sometimes, but I think he was supposed to be. Yeah. So it worked.
I agree. Well, I think that about covers our No Time to Die stuff. That was really the only movie that came out this weekend. I think this week I am really excited to check out and see The Last Duel.
I am too. Yeah.
Very much my type of movie. Anything with swords, medieval, or gladiator type stuff. Anything Ridley Scott does in that area, I'll take. I just rewatched Gladiator this weekend in 4K, and because I just got like a brand new 4K player and all that fun stuff, and God, it's a phenomenal movie. I think it's just.
Adam Driver is phenomenal too. So
I don't like him, but I'm giving him a chance.
you don't think he's a good actor?
I don't. I don't.
I think he's stellar, and I'd like to see him
I
in more
saw.
things. How about that?
Well, how about that? I mean, look, I saw Marriage Story.
I did not watch that.
That was interesting. What
Let's
I'm
see.
trying to think outside of the Star Wars movies, what I
used to do this thing every year while I was like in college. I mean, I'm in college again now, but the first time I was in college, I would like watch every movie that got nominated for an Oscar, whether it was actress, this, that. I would watch every single one, and then like after like 4 or 5 years of doing that, I was like, I'm watching a lot of really boring and uninteresting movies that I don't care about, so I'm done doing that. Yeah, see, I'm just like, if I see something now, and just because it's nominated, I'm not gonna watch it. I'm gonna go ahead and say no on that one. And Marriage Story was nominated for something, right? Performances or something,
like Best Picture or something.
Yeah, but I was just like, that's gonna be.
It wasn't bad. It wasn't bad.
Yeah, but point being, but not point being. Besides that point, I do enjoy Driver, and I don't think I've ever watched anything where I didn't think he was great. So
I didn't see Black Klansman, so I know he was in that. I'm trying to think. What else has he done besides Star Wars?
He's Kylo Ren, and he's kind of like the best part of all three of those movies. He is, in my opinion, he is what's it called? He's in the last duel that's coming out. He's I gotta look it up because that's gonna drive me nuts.
I just don't know. There's not. I feel like a lot I've seen him in to base off of. I look forward to seeing the movie either way. I'm sure he's going to do fine. That actually seems like more of a. He's done a lot, but not crazy significant stuff. I just don't.
He's good in Silence. I've seen Silence. Let's see what else.
Okay. All right. Silence was great.
What else?
With him and
Andrew he's Garfield. In a lot of like art house movies, I guess. But I enjoy everything I ever see him in, so I'm excited to see him in a lead role.
Yeah, I'm really excited too. And by the way, guys, our friend Matt Jarbo just did a really interesting video over on his Stranger Days YouTube channel talking about the actual like book and the duel itself and everything leading up to and around it and stuff. So that was really interesting. Go check that out whenever you guys have a chance as well. But I really look forward to that. And then I'm trying to think, what's that? Eternals, I think, is probably the next thing.
Oh man, I just saw something about Eternals that kind of made me not like I'm not like judging the movie. I'm not like it's gonna be bad. I'm just like, oh man.
I'm saying it right here. Are you ready? I think Eternals is going to be one of the best Marvel movies ever made.
I think that's entirely possible. I just know that the only Eternal that I really know much about is the Black Knight, and he's so cool. He's got such cool powers, and he's a good character. And someone involved with the movie just came out and said he's not. I can't remember the actual character's name off the top of my head. He's not going to get the Ebony Harrington's character is not going to get the Ebony Blade in this movie. He's not going to do any of that. And I'm like, oh man. I thought real cool to see.
I didn't think he was. I didn't think he was at all. I thought they would tease it or all that stuff. It's the first movie. It's his first introduction. It's called The Eternals, not the Black Knight.
Iron Man gets his freaking Iron Man suit in the first Iron Man movie.
Yeah, in the movie called Iron Man.
That's good. But yeah, and like I said, I'm not like oh it's gonna suck. It's not gonna
right.
I'm not going to enjoy it. It's not going to be dope. It's just, I'm like, oh, man, I kind of want to see that. Now I have to wait even longer to see it.
I mean, you never know how quickly, I think Marvel's going to be going pretty fast here after this Eternals movie with the multiverse stuff. But I think it's going to be one of the best Marvel movies ever made. Did I start up Game of Thrones yet? Yes, I did. I'm on episode 5. I like it.
So... I have
I like
one
it.
thing to say about Games of Thrones. It's
There
very
is a
good.
lot of boobs and other
mean,
things.
But so there is a moment where, well, this is going to be very vague because I don't want to spoil anything for Austin.
I don't
Something.
care. I'm gonna watch the whole series. I want to
Are
see this
you
House of Dragon stuff. That's what I care about.
okay? So everyone in the chat, I'm gonna like spoil a little bit of Game of Thrones. Just one episode. There's like this. I mean, I don't remember the characters' names, so this might not even spoil anything from you. There's a dude and this chick. They have a kid, and one of this old like witch lady or like I think she's a witch. She's something like that. She convinces them that they need to burn their daughter alive at the stake for the good of the town or something like that. And the whole time I'm like, no way, no way, no way. And then they fucking do it, and I was like, and it's like, I was like, you know what? This is good and all. And I'm not like, I'm not a prude. I'm not like not,
Pretty
but I was just like, I don't really want, I'm good. I'm cool. I don't need to watch this anymore. I'm all right. I don't need to watch children being burned alive at the stake for the like. Yeah, I just was just like, I'm cool on that. You know what I mean?
So you don't have.
And I don't think it's bad, and I'm not going to be like, whoa, Game of Thrones is like ruining things. No, I just watched it, and I don't think there's anything wrong with this. I watched it, and I went, you know what? That's a little bit much. So I was done. You know what I mean? I'm like, I'm cool
What
on
season was that happened?
Like 3, maybe. I don't know. I didn't get very far into it, but I was. Just
I mean,
like,
look, I don't. Yeah, I don't know.
I saw it, and I was like, man, do I want to keep watching this? And then I was like, no, I don't.
I don't know. I think it's. It'll depend.
Melisandre, yeah, I think that's what the character's name. I think that's the character's name who convinces them to burn their daughter alive at the stake, and I think it like gives her power or something. And I'm just like,
yeah, the show
yikes.
constantly makes me want to die. I don't know, man. That sounds interesting. I don't.
And it's not a nice scene. It's not like it just like you see it. Like it's
Okay, I think they said Ty's falling asleep. Ty was supposed to come on tonight, but I think that that means he won't be coming on tonight. So shout out Ty, but it's all good. I was waiting to talk about the thing we were going to talk about, but it's okay. I'll just talk about it later. But good night, Ty.
Good night, Ty.
Right. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. Look, this show is.
Well, I guess my point is it's super intense, and I was just
Did you see that movie last year with Tom Holland? Oh gosh, the
Chaos Walking or something.
No, it was on Netflix, and it was The Devil All the Time. Did you see that?
No, I don't think I've watched anything Tom Holland's ever been in but Spider-Man, and that's not because I'm like, oh, that's bad. I just like I happen to have not watched anything else.
You good.
Maybe he's in he's a little kid in like a movie that I've seen, but
The Impossible. I think he's. So there's this film Devil All the Time that came out last year on Netflix, and
I've heard of it,
pretty brutal. Like it's one of the few times, that watching a movie that I was like, I don't know if I want to finish this, and then it ended, and it was weird because it's like it's just weird when you watch something like that because you're like it's not a good movie, like it's nothing I'd watch again and again, it's an interesting story and all that, but it's just I don't, it gave me a lot of things besides anxiety. It was a lot of brutality in that movie.
Movie. Okay, I don't know how we got on this topic, but I think it's a fun one. Another movie,
Game of Thrones. Thank you, Game of Thrones.
Oh, there you go. Another movie I watched. Okay, I have two examples. One where I watched it, I was like, hey, that was good. Another one where I watched it and I was like, what in the world did I just watch? Both of them are intense for different reasons. Well, kind of the same reason actually, but it's like kind of like it just plays better in one, in my opinion, than the other. I finished both of them. Hereditary is fantastic. I love that movie. It's
Can't
gross.
Watch that.
It's intense, and it's terrifying.
Can't do
and
that.
Midsummer, maybe Midsummer.
That I've seen.
That movie is so weird. I watched the whole thing, and I was like, not a single moment of this movie was scary. It was just weird all the way through. What's her name? Florence Pugh is really pretty, and so many weird things happen in that movie. I couldn't even enjoy that. And I was just like,
I like that one. I like Midsummer. I don't like Hereditary.
The end of that movie is bonkers, dude. I'm like,
It is.
what
It
is
is.
happening? And it ended, and I was just like, oh, okay. But have you seen Hereditary?
I made it to the part to literally where he started smashing his face into the desk, and I said, nope, no. Like and that's the thing. That's the thing is I've always been well aware. Like there's movies magic and all the beautiful things that it does and all that. That looked way too real, and the sounds that were happening of
the scene
of his face. Oh man, yeah. I was just like,
that's not even the most intense scene in that movie.
Yeah,
and the scene that you know what I'm talking about. That movie or that scene, like, just did everything that scene was supposed to do to a viewer. To me, it terrified me. Okay, so something happens. Somebody is at fault for something that they kind of messed up. And something horrible happens, and it's like so real. Like I could totally see a real person doing what he did after that because he's in shock. He doesn't know what to do. He goes up in his room and he just lays there and can't sleep all night. His mom goes out to the car. He's laying there not moving, and he hears his mom screaming, and you don't see his mom finding whatever they find, and she's just screaming like a blood-curdling, terrified scream. And I was like, and it just shows him laying in bed the whole time, like, oh. I'm in shock. I don't know what to do. And it terrified me in like all like the worst ways, but best ways, like the way the movie wanted it to. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. I do know what you're talking. Yeah, I don't know. That one was just like, oh, that was, yeah. That one creeped me out. There's a couple of them of these movies that I won't watch. That one and the Hereditary one, The Witch, won't watch that.
I like The Witch. The Witch is not nearly as intense as either of those movies, though.
Yeah,
it
looks good. That way to me. Listen, you're talking to a guy that.
So you haven't seen The Witch? Have you watched any of it?
I have not. No. But you're talking to a guy who took his girlfriend to see it. And ended up holding her, not her holding. Like I was screaming.
I get it. Yeah.
It was it. It was it. It's not even that scary.
The Witch, man, it is not. I'm not like trying to convince you to go see it. I'm just telling you that it is not even close to as intense as Hereditary or Midsummer. Not even close. There's a couple of moments where it's like, whoa.
I didn't think Midsummer was that scary. It's twisted.
Well, I mean, scary, but like intense.
It's
like,
twisted.
Yeah, twisted. Yeah.
It's twisted.
The Witch is kind of scary. I don't know. I just think The Witch is a good movie. It's hard to understand what anybody is saying. Watch it with subtitles on.
Yeah. Let's see. I know many horror flicks don't win awards. I think she might have won some independent awards. Maybe.
Are we talking about? She's Hereditary, right?
For Hereditary, yeah. There was a lot of buzz around her performance,
and she was great in it. And like,
yeah.
This blood-curdling scream when she finds what she finds is terrifying.
Dear God, yeah. Well, that's been our horror subject for the month of October.
Thank you, Game of Thrones. Yep.
Thank you, Game of Thrones. I look forward to where this is gonna take me now. No, I will say, I saw that that House of. How did we even get Gavin? This is your fault.
It is Gavin's fault.
Gavin, this is all your fault, man. I do say I want to see that House of Dragons thing because I know there's going to be dragons in it, and I like dragons, so that's my main reason for.
I think that sounds like a great reason.
Catching up, yeah. But let's see. Before we dive into the Superman stuff, because that is our main topic of the evening, I did want to cover, and we did talk about. He was in Midsummer, as we just were mentioning, but. Oh. Adam Warlock, good God.
Warlock.
Adam Warlock has been cast. Will Poulter will play the role. He's been in Maze Runner, the Black Mirror Bandersnatch. I'm trying to think what else. Yeah, he was in We Are the Millers.
Yeah, he's like a bully in a lot of stuff. I remember that.
Yeah.
But I think he'll be great as Adam Warlock.
It's an interesting cast. I kind of figured somebody else but I don't think he's a bad choice. I think
Yeah.
he's gonna do great. I think is this maybe some fan art?
I don't know about that.
So somebody, yeah, that's a little
Looks
weird.
like Goldblum, Vision, and Will Poulter all together.
Right. But this was the tease here at the end of Guardians of the Galaxy 2.
Yep.
So I mean, what do you think, man? Are you looking forward to seeing the character Adam Warlock?
Yeah, I wish. I mean, I'm sure we'll find a way to see him and Thanos square off because that's kind of like his thing. Like that's literally is like that's why he was made. Like that's his thing, is to like beat Thanos. And that kind of brings us to a side point where I do think it's interesting that the MCU got to a point where like they could do a big storyline and then end it in a completely different way from the comics, and no one's mad because it's so good. And like, because
DC can't do that. What?
Well, because they just don't trust them. But
right.
And like, because in both Infinity War, pretty much everything, it's always like the person that stops Thanos is 9 times out of 10. It probably doesn't happen 10 times. Is Warlock, or there's a version like he beats him up, he takes the thing, and he's the one that undoes the snap in the original story. It's Warlock. He's the one that undoes that. Undoes that. If there's anyone in the chat that corrects me, I could be wrong, but I'm like 99.999% sure that that's how that happens. In the original Infinity Gauntlet story. He also, I think he does it again. Like there's 2 instances of him doing it to Thanos, beating Thanos and being the person that beats him back. And then there's Drax. It's not Thanos isn't the bad guy in the story that Drax kills Thanos in, but Drax kills Thanos. Dr. Doom kills Thanos. Pretty much everybody has killed Thanos except that's not true. But there's a bunch of guys.
I do think it's funny that they did the movies did a good job of that, right? Getting the general audience to believe that Thanos is like the biggest threat in the Marvel universe. And then now I like how they just spent a lot of Phase 4 just kind of going, he's basically the least of your worries.
Yeah.
I mean, I just what did you think of? Did you finish What If? Were you able to watch all of them? What did you think of What If? It's like Adam Warlock is like
I thought
Space Jesus from Marvel.
No, literally. Episode 1 is fine. Episode 2 is great. Episode 3, I could have these off a little bit. Episode 3 is fine. Episode 4 is the Doctor Strange episode, right?
Yeah, I think so.
That episode's good. Why am I doing this? The Black Panther one is really good. The Star-Lord Black Panther one is really good. The Doctor Strange one is really good. I like the Murder Mystery Hank Pym one, but that one's fine. The second to last one is great, and this last one is it's pretty good. The rest of them are really just whatever to me.
I thought so. It started strong. You had the Peggy Carter and T'Challa and all that, and then Doctor Strange. It's basically like one right after another. Good. And then for me, it was after Doctor Strange, it just all went downhill. Like every episode just became less and less interesting. Also, here's the issue. Visions came out in the middle of this. and look, here's the thing. It's not that it's bad. What If is bad? It's not. It's just it was marketed as something that it's not, and it was marketed as an anthology series, and it's not.
And that's my thing. Like that's what I was talking to the guys in Into the West about. I think they should have just went full anthology or leaned way farther into the fact that it was going to be a crossover.
That it's going to connect at some point.
Like the best episodes, in my opinion, the Doctor Strange one, that one leans hardest into it. The last 2, those lean the hardest into it. And the Black Panther one doesn't really lean that hard into it, but that one's good. The rest of them, I could take or leave. People love the Captain Marvel Thor fight. I don't think it was bad. It was good. I just don't think it was that interesting. Like I've never been like, who would win in a fight, Captain Marvel or Thor? I don't really care. And I think maybe that comes from years of reading comics. When you first get into comics, you're like, ooh, who would win this? Who would win that? And then you've been reading comics for a decade and you're like, it literally doesn't matter because freaking Batman could kill Darkseid if the writer chooses to have that happen. That happens.
Yep.
So I mean, it like the who would win this? It doesn't matter. It just doesn't. So that just wasn't that interesting to me. Because if a different writer's on it, it happens a different way, you know.
Yeah.
So that's yeah. I just thought it was kind of mediocre. The whole thing.
That's exactly, it was mediocre. That's exactly how I felt. I think, you know, again, just like you said, I would have rather them really lean into the anthology thing. Each episode is its own separate story, design. Like, I just would have.
You saw that
That's
work
what
great with Visions, which is your point.
right,
Yeah.
right, and so because now it feels like, honestly, I feel like now they're gonna pick and choose. Okay, what was liked from this will go to live action, and the stuff that won't. And so it just feels like, okay, it's kind of canon, but it's also kind of a waste of everybody's time. Like, it's just weird.
Yeah,
but,
and then like,
hey,
they like
Parts, how you doing, man? Great to see you.
I think a good point is they beat like a lot of dead horses with characters, that stuff that like Thor's a party boy. That's not that interesting. It's just not. It's just how he is in most comics and most stories. And
they
then
took that to the extreme.
Oh my goodness gracious, man! In the end of the episode, the last episode, I believe it is, when Killmonger gets the stones, and he's like, "We can do a bunch of really bad stuff, but I think it's good." Like, that's basically what his character is. His character is, well, I'm gonna do a bunch of stuff that is just like blatantly wrong and like gonna get a bunch of people killed. But
that was my main issue with his.
I was wronged when I was a kid because my dad died, so I'm gonna kill thousands of people. I'm like, it worked in the Black Panther movie, and you are, oh my god, give it a break. Give it a break, Killmonger.
And that was my gripe with the Killmonger episode that debuted, is I said there's literally no difference in this Killmonger and the one from the MCU. The only difference is this one's a little bit more blatant about his
and somehow doesn't get caught.
It doesn't get he's more forward about what he's doing than him.
Like, I think if you've watched my show, you've heard me talk about this, but like there's a part where Pepper's like, he's literally the only person that's been in the room for all of these deaths. And then he's like, yeah, but what if it, wasn't me? And then everyone's like, oh yeah, no, he makes a good point. What if it just, what if he didn't do it?
Yeah,
it was. It's like, it was just... what? And then, sorry, I'm getting on it now. So
no, go ahead.
Where Pepper's like, man, I looked into everything about this guy, everything he's ever done, and I can't find any reason why he would want to exploit Tony. And then he's like, well, I wrote this thesis on like these like unmanned drones to replace armies, and then it's
right, and Tony's just like, well,
really,
let me make your dreams come true.
Really, Pepper? You couldn't find that? You can go to like any major university and Google the students' thesis papers. Like, it's not like locked down. That's not the kind of thing you can't find on the internet. Most theses and things like that are public information. Maybe you have to pay like a subscription, like a $2 subscription to see these like thesis papers, but like, you obviously didn't look very hard, Pepper, because you would have seen that and go, oh, maybe that's why he wants to use Tony. So, like, why that was it? Like, what is just stupidity?
This multiverse Pepper wasn't as smart as our normal timeline Pepper, apparently. I mean, yeah, it was just a lot, and then it ended with, that last episode had Gamora randomly in it, and everybody was like, why Gamora? And how is Gamora, and how did she get here? So that also, I think, just threw things off a bit. Also, the return of Black Widow. I thought for a second they were going to return her to the main timeline, and when they didn't, I kind of was like, what's the point of this? Like, it just didn't. Yeah. It was just all a lot of, I don't know, a lot of just didn't really interest me. But it's at a point where it's like I had to watch it because I got to, because
this is the
thing. Because I got to, because and it's probably going to be brought up at some point, in the future.
Yeah.
But yeah, overall, What If was mediocre.
Yeah, I agree.
But yeah, I think that covers our Marvel stuff. So let's. It was a lot of what if. It was a lot of what the fuck. But On to our next topic here, our main topic, probably our final topic of the night because it's going to probably take up the rest of the showtime. But couple things. Superman. We're not just going to talk about the news that was announced today. Obviously, we are going to talk about it a little bit and stuff. But we want to just talk about Superman. I want to talk about a couple things. It was they did release like a featurette video a couple days ago, kind of going over Superman's
Yeah,
powers.
I saw you were mad about that. I saw that.
I was a little upset. We'll talk about it. I have
I watched it and I was like, I wouldn't even have noticed if you didn't say anything.
Yeah, sure, I know you wouldn't. But look, it was announced today that the current writer, the issue is not out, as you were telling me. But maybe you can elaborate on the story.
So it's not going to be out. This issue that this event, like this thing that everyone's talking about, happens in, does not come out for another 2 months.
Oh, wow, yeah. So we're really getting okay then. All right, yeah, we'll talk about it. Well, for those of you who don't know, it was announced today that Jonathan Kent in the main storyline that's happening right now, Son of Kal-El, written by Tom Taylor, is going to come out. Oh, that's what it is. Today is National Coming Out Day. That's probably why they announced it today and stuff.
Yep.
And so there he is. Jonathan Kent is going to come out as bisexual. Do you know who that other character is?
I think it's. Give me a second. Let's see. Because it says it in here a bunch of times.
Pulls out the comment.
I totally forgot what the dude's name was.
You are reading the Son of Kal-El comic currently.
I am.
I haven't had time.
I'm trying to find where it says his name because I promise. What's his name? Jay.
Jay, okay. So
Jay
now there's been a bit of confusion, especially in some of the people that I've talked to and stuff. First of all, this Son of Kal-El story is not replacing Superman. That's not the story right now. This Son of Kal-El story is Superman is still around and all of that stuff, but he's off-world with the Justice League. Is that
no? So he very much is not off-world with the Justice League. He is off-world with like a different group of people. Because him and the Justice League are not in the best standing right now. So all right, let me break this down for the peeps.
Break it down, Paul.
So
break it down. Here you go.
There's Action Comics. Whoa, I don't like comics. There's Action Comics, and in that Superman is dealing with Warworld, Mongol, the character Mongol. That's where his old deal is, and there's like a bunch of prisoners, and that's a slave planet. And Superman's like, I'm going to put a stop to this. I don't care. And there's an artifact that has dropped on Earth from Warworld and a bunch of other stuff going on Earth. And all the Justice League is like, this is more important. And Superman's like, no, it's not. And I don't care that you think it's more important. You can stay here. I'm going to Warworld. And Jonathan, and by that, he's leaving, and Jonathan is an adult now. And he's like, I'm leaving Earth, and you're kind of going to take my place. And Jonathan, this is the Superman Son of Kal-El is tying in with Action Comics, in that this is Jon taking this mantle from Superman while he's off Earth. And oh, by the way, in the last story that Jon Kent was in, he got flung into the far future. And in the history books, when Superman leaves to go to Warworld at this time, there's no other stories told about Superman after this. For all intents and purposes, this is when Clark Kent dies. And Jon is like, please don't go. This is when everything goes wrong. This is when we lose you. And Superman's like, I don't believe in fate, but you know what I do believe in? I believe in you and your ability to protect Earth while I'm gone, and I'm coming back. And he's talking to Martha at one point. I'm getting a little more into it. He's talking to Martha at one point, and I think it's Lois is talking to him, actually. No, it's Jon. And he's like, he doesn't come back. And then Martha's like, he'll come back. I learned a long time ago to stop doubting your dad. It might have been a conversation with Lois. I could have that a little twisted in my head. But the sentiment is, I know the history books say he never comes back. Superman will be back. But this Superman Son of Kal-El part of the story is about Jon taking Clark's place while Clark is gone. Clark is going
Okay.
to Warworld with the Authority, which he's built up in Grant Morrison's run on Superman and the Authority, which will turn into Batman and the Authority one shot, which if you checked out our interview with Philip Kennedy Johnson, he
Yeah.
talks about that. Philip Kennedy Johnson is writing Action Comics. And so I feel like I've laid the groundwork. Jonathan Kent is taking Superman's mantle on Earth, and he's coming into himself as a man and learning what kind of person he's going to be and who he's going to be. And this little like coming out of the closet thing fits super well in this story. It slots right in with this kind of coming of age, becoming who you're going to be story. And
Right.
this character that he is involved with is introduced in episode or issue 2, and he doesn't have this moment with him that you're seeing on the internet until episode, or I don't know why I keep saying episode, issue 5. So there's a
Okay.
lot of development, and even to this point, when he was introduced in issue 2, and he comes with Jon to his family's house before Clark leaves, I was like, I could see this being a relationship. It's organic. It works well. It's not forced. There's a reason for him being introduced with him. They get along. They seem to care about each other. And it works. I really feel like it works. And there's another issue and a half probably until this moment happens for them to keep developing these characters, this character's relationship with Jon. And I think it works. And I'm actually reading the comics, and I know a lot of people who have some opinions on this aren't, and they feel like it's forced. It's like, how can you feel like it's forced? You're not actually reading it.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, I think it's great. Look, right now, we've had this conversation a lot, right? I've never been too crazy about the character of Superman.
Right.
For me, the big incentive was Henry Cavill and kind of how he was presented that way, and because of that, I learned about Injustice, not just the game, but the actual comic series, and started
Ironically,
reading things.
also Tom Taylor.
Yeah, exactly. Also Tom Taylor and things like that. I've since read different Superman comics that I do like. I know like you're a big star of All Star Superman. I'm not the biggest fan of All Star Superman. I know that's kind of like the big, most regarded, well-known one. But I will say, like, I do like the idea. I think it's interesting, right, that one of the most powerful DC characters in that universe represents that, and it just kind of, I don't know. I think it is a cool thing. But I think right now, until like I see more of it and how it develops and what they're really gonna do, I'm not that crazy interested.
Yeah.
But I do trust Tom Taylor. That man has not failed me yet, and I know. Look, I feel like he does things for a reason. I don't think it was just because to just throw it in there or anything like that. I think there's a good reason for it. And but you did talk about mention. Look, this and I don't know too much about the character Jonathan Kent, but I was talking about how long because some of the concern was I think this character's only been around for about 6 years, as far as
Jon
I'm
Kent?
concerned. Yeah, Jon
Yes.
Kent. This, so and kind of talking with some other people and then having discussions and stuff. And I could understand, for example, if you turn the character Clark Kent, for example, some character that's been around that long and then just said, hey, he's bi, or something like that. Maybe there would be, I think, a little bit more of a reason to be upset.
Yeah, if they had made Clark or somebody like that bisexual, why? This guy has decades of stories where he is not. So if you make him all of a sudden, oh, I've been gay, it's like that feels forced and ridiculous. And sorry if I'm interrupting your like train of thought, but
no, I'm at that. I was asking for this. Great, yeah.
So Jon Kent, there was a small story where he was flung into the future, and he kind of like grew up a little bit in that story, and he's a little bit older than Damian is now, and he was always a little bit older, but he's like more older than he is because he got flung into the future. This is the first like main continuity story where Jonathan Kent isn't a 10-year-old. So Austin and I kind of talked about it a little before the show, and I was telling him about it. So a lot of people's sentiment might be, or Austin was kind of talking about, just like make a new character. Do this with a new character.
Right.
Don't change a character that is set in stone. The thing about that is Jon isn't. This is his story. This is creating his origin and him becoming a hero. And we're learning all the things about him and who he's going to be as a man. And that's why I think this works so perfectly. He is a character that is becoming. He is not a character that is, and we're just throwing
He's still
stuff at him.
developing and
Exactly.
stuff. Yeah.
And his character, the one that's been built up over the years, and I do have to say I haven't read most of the Super Son stuff, so I can't speak too much to that, but I would imagine that's a story about them being children, him and Damian Wayne being children and being best friends, and dealing with their pops being the biggest guys in the universe. Excuse me. And so there's no reason for having sexual awakening as a freaking 10-year-old.
At a 10-year-old.
Yeah, it's not necessary. I might be a little off. They might be 13 and 11, but you know what I mean.
Still, yeah.
And but now and I don't know his exact age in this comic. I think it's between like 16 and 19 or something like that. That is when something like that would happen, when you would go realize as a human being, hey, I think this is who I am.
Right.
And so I think it works and fits. And I can't know for sure because, like I said, there's 2 issues to come out for this to happen. So by the time this happens, I can go, whoa, he really this was weird. Why did he do this way? But as it's leading up right now, I think it fits and I think it works. And if you are upset about it, it's a cartoon. It's a comic. It doesn't really matter. You know what I mean?
And but I am kind of seeing too. I feel like a lot of older people who, not to say that's bad or whatever, but just the older generation of comic readers, I just noticed they're not grabbing a hold really of these legacy characters. Even somebody brought up a good point today in a group chat that I'm in, and just kind of mentioned that it feels like, and it not having anything to do with the sexuality thing or anything, but just the fact of legacy characters, right? Of that this person was saying they were really attached, I think, to the character of Wally. I think it was Wally. Was it Wally West or Barry? That which one's the main? I'm more familiar with Wally West.
Well, okay, so
Wally West was
Jay Garrick. Jay Garrick is the first Flash. He's the first. Like, if you go back and read the first comic that's ever published, that the character, the Flash, it's Jay Garrick, and then after that, it's Barry Allen, and then Barry Allen dies in Infinite Crisis, and Wally is Kid Flash, and he takes over the Flash. After.
So that's the person was saying they got invested in Wally, and then they got rid of Wally and brought Barry back, and so that's kind of the things they were saying is that these legacy characters never feel like something they can really get into because they just know that original old kid, Superman's gonna come back. The original Bruce Wayne Batman's gonna come back. And so even I enjoyed like the Future State Batman stuff that they did this year with Lucius Fox's son as Batman and stuff like that.
Yeah, actually, I have something to say about that once you finish.
Yeah, but you just know too, right? Bruce Wayne's gonna come back eventually in the main storyline and all that. And so, but go ahead.
So. I Am Batman. It's I have it somewhere. I just finished catching up on it last night. I Am Batman is now it's main run right now that's happening. It's not like a prestige format, 1 out of 4 limited issue. It's just a run. I Am Batman with Tim or Jace Fox being Batman, and his other son Luke is also another version of Batman. And it's good. It's really good writing. It's fun, and I think these characters are going to stay around for a while. And the Fear State thing that's going on right now in the Batman comic, Batman is, for all intents and purposes, dead. People haven't really seen him in a long time. The excuse me, who was it? I believe it was the Foxes who took on. Could be wrong about that, but no, it was the Foxes who took on Wayne's fortune, and Pennyworth Alfred is also dead, but he's like dead. Alfred is dead, and Dick was given Alfred's inheritance, which is a lot more than you might realize it is. And so it's these characters kind of being handed down these mantles and becoming their own characters. And especially with Batman, they've always done a very good job with legacy characters. Nightwing is maybe one of the biggest comic book characters in the world, and he's a legacy character in a way.
Yeah.
He is the new he is Nightwing. He has been passed down. He is everything that Batman was and is, and the culmination of that. So is Damian, and Damian will, and there's literally comics where Damian becomes Batman and Dick becomes one of the best comics you could ever read is Batman Black Mirror. Black Mirror. And Dick Grayson is Batman in that. And
wow.
It's the first Scott Snyder ever, like his first foray into Batman, and that comic is fantastic with art from Jock. And so point in bringing that up is these new characters have been layered in and are very, very good. I think DC Comics is better than it has been in a very long time. And what they're doing with Jonathan Kent is they're not returning to the status quo. They're not going, oh, he's a baby again. Oh, he's a baby again. They're actually going, okay, we're letting this character grow and breathe on his own, which is what they've done with Nightwing and Damian and Tim. Tim seems to be kind of left by the wayside a lot of times because he's not as interesting as the other ones.
Right.
But hello. And the way they're developing Jonathan right now, he's going to be his own character. He's not going to replace Superman. Superman's going to be Superman, and Batman's going to be Batman. But Luke Fox and Tim Fox are going to have their own hold on this version of the character. John is going to have this hold on this version of the character, just like Dick has Nightwing, and he is filled this hole and became his own character and his own pillar. I think that people can expect this not to return to the status quo, and that Jonathan Kent is going to keep developing and becoming his own character over time in the same way that Dick Grayson did.
I think you make some really great points there, right? With Nightwing right now being as successful as he is and things like that. I think time will just kind of tell. Look, I hope I want characters to be like this is the next generation for the next generation for kids reading comics right now when we were that age and stuff. And so I think it'd be really cool that in 10, 20 years we start seeing these characters show up on screen and things like that, and becoming the main team that we would have considered, and so, but I think there is also I don't know. I think it's interesting that there is a lot of pushback too, and a lot of people just kind of wanting the same Superman, Clark Kent, just kind of done differently over and over again. Same with Batman and all these other. I mean, how many Batman have we had? How many Bruce Waynes have we had in
different versions in comics? Yeah, and that's never going to go away though. And I think I could fit well into both camps. I want to read Bruce Wayne stories. At the end of the day, I want to read stories about Bruce Wayne being Batman. And at the end of the day, I want to read stories about Clark Kent being Superman, because those are two of that made me laugh so hard when I read it. That's why I laughed when you were talking earlier. I wasn't laughing at you. I was laughing at that.
I know.
But I think there's room for both. I think Wally West and Kyle Rayner are two very good examples of what's happening right now. There are people who are coming up and reading comics now, and they're going to be attached to Jonathan. They're going to be attached to Damian, and they're going to be attached to all these characters in the same way in the late 90s, early 2000s. People became attached to Wally. They became attached to Kyle. I guarantee you, if you ask anyone who started reading comics in the 90s to early 2000s, their favorite Green Lantern is not Hal Jordan. It is not John Stewart. It might be John Stewart because of the cartoon, but I'm talking about people who started reading comics. Sure. Yeah, but people who were reading comics in the early or late 90s, early 2000s, I guarantee you their favorite Green Lantern is Kyle Rayner. Okay. I guarantee it. And I think Jonathan Kent and Damian and even the Fox brothers and the Batman thing will be those characters for people who started reading comics now. And I think that's great.
Yeah, I agree. And I mean, Sari, we were We don't have any. Our panties aren't twisted, but
Nah.
there are some people out, and as I'm sure you know, in the Twitterverse, and it's not even for example, I've talked to some people that we're all very good friends with, and stuff that they're not upset, but they just don't. They feel like this is more of
a stunt.
You know, exactly more of a stunt than it is for the character. And Paul, I think you did a great job explaining why it's not.
And I think, and I'm kind of going to go back on what I said here a little bit. I think to a certain extent, it is a stunt, but that's not always a bad thing. They were talking about Superman comics on TMZ today. That is great for the comic book industry. Jonathan Kent and the bisexuality of him got brought up on TMZ. That's going to make people go to comic book stores and buy these comics and read these comics, or go online and buy these comics. And that is great for the comic book industry. It fits in the story well, and it got attention for the comics industry. And that's what it needs. I think that's great. I think just because it is a little bit of a stunt doesn't mean it doesn't work, and doesn't mean it's a bad thing. I think I relate more to Clark, Bruce, Diana, Barry, Hal, and Arthur only because I grew up with them. But the young ones, yeah. And I guarantee you, if there was people alive in the 1930s, still alive from the 1930s, who could talk about comics, and I mean there is, but I mean like people, not many. They'll tell you they love Jay Garrick and they love Alan Scott. Right. Hal Jordan is not the original Green Lantern. Alan Scott is. They'll tell you they have like a completely different outlook and understanding. They're Shazam is Captain Marvel. There's just it's all about like generations. And I think DC, especially right now, is doing a really good job of building comics for their next generation. And I think Damian Wayne and Jonathan Kent, it's no accident that they are the next generation within the comic.
And you know, like I said, I even because look, you know, Suri, I relate more to Bruce and Clark. Look, that Justice League and John Stewart, I grew up with that animated series, two of them, that Unlimited with those comics, you know. But at this, I read Future State this year, and man, I was like, dude, I couldn't stop thinking of that. Like, I've seen Bruce Wayne so many times. This is so refreshing. This is just one of the best freaking things. Same with the Nightwing series. You know, being in that world, dude. That it's like you're so. Bruce Wayne is like, you've just, especially if you're a comic fan, you love him. You'll never not love him. But to be in that world from another perspective, and from the perspective of Dick Grayson, is just so refreshing. It almost makes you re-fall in love with that kind of world a bit again. And so, go ahead.
Nightwing is the best. If you walk into a comic book store right now, Nightwing is the best comic. I don't care. I don't need to listen to anybody else. I don't need to hear anybody else's opinion. Nightwing is the best comic on the shelves right now. And the run that Tom Taylor is doing right now with the art for Bruno F. Redondo, there was a different artist on the most recent issue, which the art was fine, but it wasn't Bruno F. Redondo's. And that's something. So there's a Fear State thing going on with the Batman comic, and there's this big event going on with Batman, and usually be like, oh, that's super cool. But it's kind of sidelining the story going on with Nightwing right now in his run, and I'm like, it speaks volumes to how great this run is, which is written by Tom Taylor, also the guy who's writing the Superman thing, which is why Austin said earlier, in Tom Taylor we trust. Because it speaks volumes to this Nightwing character and this run that Tom Taylor has on it, that he's getting thrown into his story is getting sidetracked by a Bruce Wayne Batman story. And I'm going, no, I don't want that. I don't care for the Bruce Wayne Batman story. I want to see Dick Grayson in Bloodhaven doing his thing. That's how good this has been. And I think it speaks volumes to all the new characters and how interesting they are.
I agree.
Not that Nightwing's a new character. He's pretty old, actually.
No, but for him to, you know, be as popular in his own run as he is against mainstays like Bruce Wayne's Batman and things like that, yeah, that's a big deal. Mr. Reese says, I love the John Damian dynamic. Love Young Justice. I haven't seen Young Justice.
I've watched season 1, and it's really, really good. It got canceled for a little while, and for like no reason. It was really, really good. I think season 2 is also very good, from what I heard. And it got a third season recently, and yeah, I heard that cartoon was fantastic.
Yeah, I gotta check that out. But another thing interesting that happened this week, obviously, was DC fandom released a video, and let me actually pull it up.
Here, give me a sec. I gotta turn my fan on. I'm melting over here. I was like yelling at my screen. Sorry, guys.
Yeah, we got Paul worked up, guys. He's got let's see.
Yeah, I get real passionate about this crap. Sorry.
No, man, I feel it. Gosh, of course now it's gonna take me forever to find the video. But no, so a video released this week for DC fandom that I made a big deal about on Twitter, as Paul said. Now look, I want to preface a couple things. First of all, apparently this video was made in 2006. So before we go any farther,
why did they use that though?
Exactly, that's question number one. But before we go any farther, let's take a look at this thing. Let's take a look at this, and let's see what you all think here, because I think I have a valid argument.
I think you do.
And even though for those of you that don't love the
Steel has also been responsible.
Sweet mother of God, calm down.
Millions.
Can everybody hear that?
From Hollywood blockbusters to comic books and television shows, Superman, the world's first comic book superhero, hasn't been shy about showing off his amazing abilities. But believe it or not,
excuse me, sorry,
has also been responsible for exposing millions of fans to a surprising number of scientific principles, like gravity, the power of X-rays, acoustics, speed, ballistics, and the dangers of radiation, to name just a few. But to really understand the science behind Superman, it's best to go back to the beginning.
This without sound the first time.
To the planet Krypton.
Okay. So, apparently, that video was made in 2006 and was a bonus feature on Superman Returns. What's up, Anthony? Great to see you here. Shout out everybody in the chat. Thank you all so much for being here. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, all that fun stuff. Let us know what your thoughts are in the chat, all that fun stuff. But look. So here's my thing, right? You have this fandom coming up, and I would think as a marketing person that I would want to make, something new, something a little more relevant. But as far as I can tell, with it starting with the DC fandom thing, right, and then ending with the DC fandom logo and thing, and then in the tweet it says, you could learn a thing or two from the Man of Steel, and then explore the science of Superman when you register at DC fandom. So for all intents and purposes, this feels like this was made specifically for DC fandom.
Right.
From my point of view, I've never seen.
There was no reason for you to believe that was made in 2000. I mean, it seems like a 2006. Like hearing the narration sounds like a 2006, but still, there's no reason for you to believe that a event that's happening in a week recycled a video from 15 years ago. Why?
Yeah, exactly. And so look, my main gripe was again, as I've said before, I was not a fan of the character of Superman. The only thing that got me into it was Man of Steel. So for me, Henry Cavill, from the film standpoint and perspective, is a big reason as to why I enjoy and like that character and those movies and things like that. I'm not trying to say any other iteration isn't valid or isn't good or any of that. It's just the one that I'm attached to, and the one that I know a lot of fans are attached to is Henry Cavill. Just like I know there's a lot of fans attached to Christopher Reeves and attached to the Tyler Hoechlin one on TV. Mm-hmm. Not trying to discredit that at all. I just don't understand why, as a big company like DC, who has the money to put into marketing, can't take a 5-second clip of Man of Steel. Maybe a 5-second clip of the new of the newer Superman and the newer stuff, because it just feels like they're just completely disregarding a whole slew of fans.
To kind of back you up, and let me preface this by saying I like Henry Cavill's portrayal. I think I don't like a lot of the writing behind it, but I enjoy it enough. It's not my favorite, but it is Austin's favorite. It is something that got a lot of people into it. And if you're a fan and you watch that and your favorite, even as a kid, an adult, and your favorite thing in the world is Henry Cavill Superman, and you want to watch something about Superman, and you watch it and it's not there, you go, what the heck, dude? I want to see my favorite guy represented. And it's not like Austin's not like mad about it. He's not real life mad about it. He doesn't go out in the street and get in the car to go to work and be like, man, you know what I mean?
We don't gotta. Yeah, I mean,
but
go into specifics.
But you're not like unnecessarily mad about it. But it's like, man, that's like, what the heck? And like, to give like I think a good comparison would be like, have you ever, like, everyone watches some sport or a movie or something, and you watch a top 10 list of maybe the best football players ever or the best movies ever, and you have one movie or one player in mind, and you're like, this guy's got to be on this list. He's so good. He's like got all the stats. He's got this, or this movie's so good. It's got all the awards. It's like perfect storytelling. And you watch the video and it's not represented in the video, even as like an honorable mention. You go, what the heck? These people with a voice that a bunch of people see didn't represent the thing that I care about. And that is, I don't like that. It makes me feel annoyed. And I think the way you feel about that video is completely valid and is like, it makes sense to me.
I did think it was interesting because I didn't think it was like gonna upset anybody, but there were some people that commented that were just like, oh, it's from 2006, and this was fun. Why do you fans have to be so ignorant? This was made in 2006, bruh. And so my response was like, again, how are fans supposed to know that? Like, there's no video that says from 2006 Warner Brothers Entertainment, like, so I don't know. I thought that was very interesting. I honestly, I try not to, get into that whole side of the Snyder fan base that, I know it feels that way a lot of times, like everything's a kind of a personal attack on Snyder fans and stuff like that. I try not to feel that way, but this one did feel like a little intentional, and it just felt weird. It's just like there's been no mention of Cavill's Superman for so long. There's been no all of this, and it's just like they kind of just want you to forget about him a little bit, it feels like. So I don't know.
It wouldn't surprise me if that was true.
Yeah, I mean, probably. And then there's obviously a lot of rumors going around. Is WB hurting for cash so much that they recycle?
Yeah, right. Like,
basically, that's so weird. That's so mind-boggling.
Did the guy who did the narration get like residuals for them reusing it? Like, where's that guy? That's what I thought about watching it.
I just think it's, again, they've made 2 other trailers that are brand new for the fandom. They've made other promo stuff that's brand new.
It also looks like something I could have thrown together in my editing class, like back in the day. So like, it could not. I just watched it, and it could not have taken long to put together. Maybe in 2006 it could have, but nowadays, like, you could throw something like that together in an hour.
Yeah, that's just how I feel about everything with this fandom. From the poster, dude looks like a Nickelodeon poster to me. Like, first of all, all the colors and all that stuff, I'm like, whoa, this looks like it's an elaborate poster for SpongeBob. I don't know, man. Are you excited for this year's DC fandom? Is there anything that you're...
If I'm honest with you, I don't really get excited for these events like most people who, like, you would think, like, I'm like, oh my God. I'm just like, it'll be news. I'm like weird. Like, some things I'm super excited about in nerd culture, some things I'm not. But like, this will be cool. And I mean, as this year, like, we covered New York Comic Con with Philip Kennedy Johnson over at Into the West. And we are, for the first time ever, we're going to do a live show, not on Thursday. We're going to do a live show on Saturday during DC Fandom.
What?
Yeah.
What?
We're gonna do it around like 4 o'clock or something.
Nice.
I only bring that up
Yeah.
right now to kind of go into say I am a little more excited for this than I have been in the past because I'm doing something for it.
Sure.
So
Sure.
I don't know if that counts.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, it counts. Oh,
Like-
this is good. Paul, take your top off.
I'm not gonna do that.
Hey, send a super chat and maybe I'll take my top off. No, but
If you send, no, 'cause I'm afraid you'll do it. I'm afraid you'll
look,
do it.
I'm cheap. I'll
If
do
you
it for
send
like $5.
$1,000, I'll take my shirt off.
Hold on, let me plug in.
And like I'm in good shape, but I think I'm a
Wait,
little
what?
hairier than you realize, so I don't know if you want that.
Ladies and gentlemen, Paul. Yeah, man.
My pants are not on, but you can't see that, so it's fine.
Going the full Tom Holland route over here. I like doing the shows. I mean, dude, the other day this was funny. The other day we interviewed Richard Citroni, the stunt double for Ben Affleck.
Yeah.
And, Ty texted me. He's like, just so you know, I'm wearing, a suit, basically. And I was like, cool. So I put on my Stewie pajamas, my,
I have
my
pants
slippers.
on. It's 3. I promise. I was kidding. I have shorts on. I promise.
Keep your pants on.
That's why I said that.
No, I'm very open about my nipple piercing. That I very open about that. It happened a day on Venice Beach. There was alcohol involved. That's all I'll say. But look, I think that what it was.
That's funny.
Have you seen the nipple ring? You want to see the nipple ring?
I mean, yes and no. Yes, I have, and no, I don't. I don't have anything against it. Let me be clear, Austin. I have no problem with it. I'm happy.
There's a fun
and everyone
story.
who loves them, and I don't have anything against them, but no, I don't.
How
need
much?
that.
How much would it take for you to get a nipple ring?
You could not. Well, that's probably not true. There's not anybody willing to pay me enough. I would need upwards of like 10 grand. And even then, that's a lot.
Oh man, I'll tell you, it was fun because it was me and all the guys. We were actually out in California filming for a music video, and there's like a sign on the thing that was just like $20 nipple piercing, and as a joke,
kind of trust fund. Sorry.
Yeah, as a joke, I told my friend Kennedy, who's been on the channel before, I was like, hey man, if you get your nipple pierced, I'll get my nipple pierced or whatever. I didn't realize he was going to immediately take $20 out of his pocket and walk inside and get his nipple pierced, and then it just kind of spiraled into it. So then I got my nipple. He put me on the spot, and then I got my nipple pierced. I'll tell you what. I'll pull up the video of it so we can watch it. That's always fun.
All the chat yelling at me, take my shirt off right now. It's not gonna happen.
Oh man, yeah, easy chat. Come on, guys.
It's not that kind of late show.
Paul's OnlyFans is coming soon. Okay, it's you can go check that out here. Leave that. Don't bring that here. Even Ty wants you to take. That's not me. That's Ty. Ty said. Oh, what we were talking.
Okay, go if you guys want to see this so badly. Go to here. I'll put it in the chat.
Oh my god, this is great. How did this come up? How did the topic of
There's my Instagram. If you want to go explore that, I'll accept all follow requests in the next 15 minutes. If you come in after that, I don't know about all that. But go have fun. But I'm not taking my shirt off right now. Is that right there? Right? Yeah,
that
right.
Is greatest.
Go ahead and give that a look. But that's the farthest this is gonna go.
I mean, wow.
Oh, it's Caden. All right, Caden.
Oh, okay. I thought it was easy, Caden. Easy.
Why is it easy now that it's Caden?
I don't know. Easy time. Whoever's easy. Everybody, calm down. All right.
What were we even talking about?
I don't know. This turned real quick. This happens
Superman,
sometimes.
I think.
Yeah, Superman. You know, he's great. I like him a lot because of Man of Steel, and that's what I was gonna ask you. We talked a little bit before the show. You had some comics we were gonna talk about your influences, some of your favorite Superman, kind of stories, and what got you into that character and stuff. Exactly. Yeah, Ty, we know it's you. But what were some of the super? Because like I said, for me, it wasn't big on the character until Man of Steel, and then got into the character.
So, I think this might surprise you. Batman is my favorite comic book character of all time. Superman is a close second.
What?
Yes,
okay,
that
so
might
Batman's
surprise
my
you.
favorite. Yeah, okay,
Yeah,
wow. I thought
Batman is
Superman
my
was...
favorite character of all time.
Okay.
Batman is more well represented in media than Superman, so I feel like
That's
I need
very
to
true.
defend Superman a little more often than I need to defend Batman.
Understandable.
But I don't know if you've noticed my stance on Batman as a character is very staunch, and every time I talk about BVS, that comes out. There's a reason for that. But like I got a big old plushy Batman on the top of my stand over here, and one of my long boxes is Batman. I don't have any Superman long boxes, but so my kind of like what? I don't know what. Sorry, the chat just asked me something weird. I don't know what was happening. Sorry, I got very distracted just now. Anyways, so my dad was a huge Superman fan, and I think honestly one of the big reasons I got into comic books was my dad had them all around the house. I don't. And I'm just.
I just have to address this real quick. Because look, like I said, there were 6 of us that got pierced, all with various nipple variations. And so look, my nipples and my friend's nipples, we have what's fairly larger. Look, my nipples enter the room before I do, as well as my friends. So for us, it worked out, right? They just had to, just a little pull and right through, stab. One of my friends basically hold on, this gets good. One of my friends basically didn't have nipples. Like it's just like it's there, but it's just like it's not, you're thinking, how can you pierce that? I figured out how they do it. They don't miss, Marlon. Let me tell you what they do. They grab a clench and they pull those bad boys and twist them like they're milking a cow. I'm telling you right now, it's great. And they literally extend your nipple to pierce it. It's fun. It's really something. Anyways, you were saying you're Superman.
And then Marcus just goes and throws in a normal comment like, what a normal expected conversation. You know what, Marcus? Thank you for actually. First of all, I'm not actually mad. What in the world?
Oh God,
I don't.
That was good. Your Superman influences in comics.
Wait, what
does Superman have nipples?
No.
Superman has nipples.
Obviously. What are you? Oh my God.
Anyways, sorry.
I just had to reload and be like, come in here and be like, what is going on?
Yeah, it's just a lot of nipples.
You have, Ty impersonating me. Not really. It's actually me. Suri's like, is that actually you? Yes, it's actually me, Suri.
Right.
But I don't know, why are you talking about nipples now?
Did you miss it? Where did you were being a bad producer and you left?
How did they come up? That's what I want to know.
Because nipples. Marcus was talking about his kernel-sized nipples that you would need to extract out. Those are Marcus's words. Or Marcus, was it Marcus or Marlon?
It was not Marcus. Do not put that on Marcus.
It was, oh my God.
Yeah, okay, my bad. Not Marcus, Marlon. See, okay. See,
I
Suri,
agree, Marcus. The family dynamic is the most important part of the Fantastic Four, and if they can nail that in Eternals, I'd be very excited to see them nail that in the Fantastic Four.
I agree. And
Sorry.
this is good, but
No, first of all, chat started it because they
Yeah.
started talking about me taking my shirt off.
Yeah, how dare you, chat?
Weird champ.
As I act like I didn't add any to the
I
chat.
just said that out
like
loud.
you didn't like you weren't involved in this, kid.
Yeah, totally not.
I mean,
And I
yeah,
just want to say I am completely innocent in all of this, and that's not even.
No, you're not.
that's not true. I've seen your nipples.
That's not
I know.
true.
I know you're not innocent.
You're not
That's
innocent.
not.
That's not true.
Just saying, they're not pancake size Oreos, and I feel you. I feel
Oh
you,
my
Marlon.
god, going back to this.
Mine
conversation.
are no, but
Oh my
but
God.
listen, for those that aren't,
Yes,
don't
thank
be
you,
afraid.
Marcus, for your sanity.
Right. For those of you that aren't, don't be afraid. You know, they are more than able to extract your nipple more than you would
Oh my.
expect.
Oh my.
I also have a good friend Chris Lee, who actually does not have nipples. Literally, he had them rubbed off in a biking accident. He was dirt biking and he went flying, and obviously, as you can imagine, wasn't just wearing like a t-shirt type thing, and did a lot of skidding and no more nipples. You know, so it's real great. It's really interesting. It's fascinating, to be quite honest. It's just red. There's not the little point that's normally there.
Oh.
With
Paul's face is like why?
It's
why
really
did I agree to this show?
It's just really something. It really is.
Was he biking or was he flying? Both.
Exactly. Yeah, he was biking and he was flying. But here we go. So, look, I think this is around a good place to close out. I look, Paul, go ahead and finish. Let us know those you were saying about Superman, and so he's not your favorite character. It's actually Batman. You know, bike is flying. Jeez, I really lost control of the chat here.
What were we talking about?
You were talking about how Superman's not your favorite character.
Yeah, all right, anyway, so I don't know how all right, okay, so all right, here comes the guy that started this all. Where was I? All right, so
here's while you process your thoughts. While you prepare. I guess we'll just bring this in now. You know, we'll just there we go. We'll just everybody hear that? Yeah. Is there volume?
What's your name? Austin is all done. Okay, cool. Look at that.
Yeah, it was terrible, but it was great. So there you go, everybody. It happened. It
is not at all.
Yes.
I was hearing audio and I was like, why does this video sound so familiar?
Oh, dude, it was great, and he was like, it was great. He'd already given me the piercing, and then he was like, "What's your name?" And I was like, "Austin, where? Austin?" but yeah, ladies and gentlemen, live nipple piercing right here. Lean on me.
Okay.
I'll tell you what, Paul. If this show, when we move over to once we move over to the new channel, to the Little Big City channel, once that channel gets like, I don't know, I'll do something. Once the show, like, I don't know, breaks like 150 views or something, I'll get my nipple pierced live.
It's not that many.
I know, it's just
every
fun.
Show breaks 150.
Yeah, it's just great. It's just fun.
And you said you'd do what?
I get the other nipple pierced. I only have one.
It sounds like you just want to get, like, just go do it. It sounds like you want to.
Oh man.
I don't necessarily want to, but I think it would be good entertainment. You wouldn't get. Well, you just said you wouldn't get. But I mean, is there? Do you not?
No, I wouldn't.
Cool. So, Superman.
No. Nope.
Hi, I'm Paul.
Yeah.
And I like Superman so much that we are talking about not Superman.
Oh my gosh. No, Austin, it's on you to get this back on track, not me. I'm gonna sit back and see how you do it.
Look. First of all, I have been thinking it's time for some new bling for my nipple because it's been the same. You left me.
How many years has that been?
It's been about a year and a half, a little bit
Okay.
over, and it's time. I want to get like a gold chain cross nipple ring, and then on the other nipple, I want like the Flava Flav clock.
No.
But
No.
not heavy enough to where
I don't approve.
It's
I don't
a pain
approve.
thing. But
I don't approve.
Here's the thing. I won't. It started, and now we're here.
Oh God.
But
Austin.
again, yeah. So getting off the nipple subject. Trying to get off the nipple subject. Enough with the nipples. No more nipples.
Enough with it.
Unless we are going to talk about Batman's nipples from the 90s films, which was very pointy and elaborate.
Okay. No more elaborating on and describing on what.
Did you know, Paul? Paul, did you know you can milk anything with nipples?
Oh my God. Oh my God.
Come on, you guys had to know that one was coming. Like,
why?
I didn't. No. I didn't know any of this was coming.
No, I did not.
Oh,
I thought it was
man.
gonna be simple. No Time to Die, Superman, and Adam Warlock, and whatever else.
Oh yeah, no, this is great. This is exactly
This is like going like whole nother level of like.
Well, okay, wait, since it's on topic, I can bring it. Paul, what are your thoughts of the Batman nipple suits?
Oh my God.
I think it's kind of funny. I mean, I get why it made people kind of mad, but at the same time, I mean, there's like fake abs on the suit, so why not fake nipples?
That's true.
You know?
Do you think like
He was
whoever
trying
they
to
go
make them look
for?
like-
Do you think whoever they make like Superman and these characters that are built and stuff? Do you think because we were talking like we were talking with Richard Citroni, right? We were talking like these bodysuits, this bodysuit that he wore for Batman, right? It's all
Right, it's like
foamed and
this
laid
rubber
out. You have the abs and hold on, Kaden. And you have the abs and stuff and all that, but it weighs like an extra 40 pounds and stuff. So do you think they should just start casting these guys like The Rock, who are just naturally big and stuff, to be able to do this type of stuff? Or
No,
because I think these
not
bodysuits are
actors.
like, those are for the old days. That's like for the old Superman movies and the old, with
I
that
think
built-in
the problem
abs
is-
and
Well, I think the problem with that is, you have to.
yes, and something else.
You have
He's about to bring it
to.
up on screen. Is he? No.
You have to like really maintain, like to look like Henry Cavill does or anyone else does.
To look
on
like The
a-
Rock.
Yeah,
You have
look like
to.
that all the time. You have to be like in the gym crushing it all the time. And that's just not what most actors are doing. Most actors are focusing on the performance, and then they'll get shredded for like a couple of days, like super shredded for a couple of days or a day or so for the shirtless scene. And then they'll still be in really good shape, but not like super like bodybuilder shape for the
Right.
rest of the suit.
Right, you have
excuse me.
but then you like so funny thing is, speaking of Eternals earlier, Camille, who was working out not just for Eternals but also just in general, but then he was like working out so much that Nate Moore, the producer, had to tell him to stop, that he's not a bodybuilder, he's a Bollywood actor, and
Yeah.
he's like So he had to like he was
And
like
that's another
about to
thing,
be like The Rock shredded
for
when he
other
wasn't
roles
supposed to
and
be.
stuff. And most guys who's like have like bodybuilder bodies like that, they're not the best actors.
No,
Right.
although they're entertainers, but they're not actors.
Like The Rock is not a great actor.
No. And you know,
No.
that's I am concerned about Black Adam for that fact, but also I know he cares about this character a lot and stuff. But yeah, I mean, and look, I agree. Henry, like that's the thing nice about that's from what like I had like Henry.
Well,
and
have
Ben,
you seen
these
Henry?
guys look.
Have you seen Henry Cavill? A picture of Henry Cavill with a shirt on when he's not shooting a shirtless scene for a Superman movie? He still looks great, but he does not look as good.
Well, yeah, but that's because I mean the Superman suit's pretty tight, and you know. But that's
They also
not
have
that's
fake
not padding
plastic
on
abs
Henry Cavill.
for the abs.
Like when he gets in that suit.
I think you'd be
He-
surprised to learn that it is.
Is it? Do they? I thought I read somewhere that he like really him and Ben really worked out to get. And
Man,
Zack Snyder,
definitely has padding.
Zack Snyder is big on getting the actors to work out and do
Yeah,
that,
well, even
that type of stuff.
in 300, most of those
Right.
guys have airbrushed abs.
Which,
like
you
they
know,
usually
and,
have abs, but then they're airbrushed to make them look better.
In our Richard Citroni interview, Richard did say that Zach casted them and they had to be it was like a push for them to be in the best shape in their bodies.
Right. Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
But
It was like a I think did he say this or did he not? That it was like more of like a satirical take on the Greek times during that time. It wasn't like flat out like this is exactly what happened. This is like a more dramatic satirical version.
Well, yeah, it's exaggerated. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, guys. I know. I didn't want you to actually say because you did pull out comics and stuff, and I wanted to. So what were the comics you were going to talk about as far as Superman and things like that, and you were gonna mention a little bit.
Well, I pulled out the Superman Son of Kal-El ones. I was going to talk about those. Already did.
Right.
There's a lot of good comics right now, but what were we talking about? We were talking about like how we got into Superman, right, and Batman, or Superman,
yeah, and
namely,
that there's the misconception since Superman hasn't been represented as well in media, so you feel the need to.
Well, yeah, I just feel like it comes up more. Like I talk more about Superman than I do Batman, but Batman is my favorite comic book character, favorite character of anything ever. Batman is. Superman is a close second. But so the way I got into Superman is my dad had comics around the house all the time, and we were like the first one I really read was Death of Superman, probably in the early 2000s is when I read it. When I was like 4 or 5 years, well, not read it. 4 or 5 years old was probably the first time I picked it up and looked at it. And then I was a huge like Shaquille O'Neal was like my favorite person in the universe that wasn't my dad. And Shaq, his nickname was Superman, and he had a Superman tattoo, and this is that and the other thing, and it just it helped reinforce my like infatuation with this character, and led me into reading all the stories I could about the character, watching the movies, and then being like, oh, I want more. Well, comics. There we go. I would go to the store with my comic book store with my dad, and my dad and I would always argue. We had 2 arguments when we were growing up, or when I was growing up. It was Tim Duncan and Shaq. I always said Shaq was better than Tim Duncan. If you ask me now as an adult, I think Tim Duncan is better than Shaq. I think my dad was right. And then Batman versus Superman. And my dad didn't really care, but it was fun to like jab with his son. He was like, Superman would win every single time, no matter what. And I would be like, nah, Batman with this, that, and the other thing. But yeah, that's like where my like exposure and like love affair with these characters and comics started, was the stuff my dad had around the house, and then arguing with him about who would win in a fight.
Yeah. That's funny. I mean, like I said, I always had this idea that it was like, because I saw him in the animated series, and that was the big early thing. I always just had this idea that it's like, what's the point of Superman? That was always kind of my thought process towards him. It's like he's the most powerful character. He's this, he's that, and blah blah blah. And this was before I knew anything about him more in the comics and things like that. And I just didn't see. He just didn't interest me. Whereas Batman was this non-super, didn't have powers, but was just incredibly smart. He could outsmart all these superheroes. He was just as capable as all these superheroes. And so that I just gravitated more towards, Batman and all that stuff. But it wasn't until, like I said, Man of Steel, and I started kind of realizing more of the immigrant story and just kind of I just liked Snyder's whole take on the whole, Superman, thing is does he want to be people's savior? If he is, you should lean all into that. And if not, what does he owe this world? Nothing, and I loved all that kind of questioning to the character, and for me it just made it okay, I'm interested in this now, and these types of stories.
For me, and even though like my dad and I would like go back and forth, I still always loved Superman. Superman was like always my second favorite, right behind Batman, still is to this day.
Right.
But I love both of them, and I think like part of the reason I really really like Superman is the same reason I like Batman, even if you don't realize it. They are both the best of the best all the time, in the face of the tallest odds, no matter what. Batman, Bruce Wayne, Superman, Clark Kent, they persevere and they get it done. And always. And like, it's like one of the most, like the biggest complaints about Batman. Well, Batman always wins because plot armor. Well, I don't care. I think that's fun. I like Batman, and I love that he is the best, and he always grits his teeth and gets it done no matter the situation. Even if it's dealing with thugs in an alley, or the god of evil on the planet of Apocalypse, which is basically hell. Right. And he gets it done no matter what. And then you have Superman, who, whether it's saving a little girl from the edge of a building, jumping off, or this is just a random like thing I made up, like holding the earth together at its ends because it's going to explode. Like
right.
Batman, Superman, Bruce Wayne, they always get it done.
Have you seen Titans? Do you watch Titans?
I have not.
Don't, Paul.
Why not?
Do not. So here's the thing. You thought you were mad, or you thought you didn't like the direction Batman goes in Batman versus Superman. I feel like I can argue that direction from a comic standpoint, and all that, and even from a character standpoint.
I think I'm gonna say something that's gonna surprise you. But go ahead.
What Titans does to Bruce Wayne in that show is probably the most disrespectful thing I've ever seen done to the character of Batman and Bruce Wayne. I don't think I've ever been so angered to a point like I say I want to stop watching the series. I actually do want to stop watching the series, but I also want to see how bad it gets. There's a scene in Titans towards the season where Bruce Wayne tries to kill himself.
Interesting.
By setting himself on fire.
Seems like edgelord stuff. Just
not to mention, at the beginning of this season, Batman broke every single code, and instead of the Joker killing Jason Todd, and that being the story, Batman doesn't kill a Joker but puts him away and all that. No, he takes a crowbar and goes and breaks Joker's skull open, then throws the bloody crowbar at Dick Grayson's feet and goes, "You're Batman now, be better," and leaves. Dude, I've never this is like, whoever is writing this, Geoff Johns' is a piece of crap. I'm sorry, Geoff, stick to Green Lantern. Stick to what you know. There. Stop interfering, because it's just disrespectful to the character, in my opinion. Like, overall.
So
this is like, dude, Batman would never, ever, I don't care what story, medium, that character does not do what he's done on this series.
Yeah, so I think the reason, I had no plans to watch it, I'm not. But if I did, it would bother me less than, Batman versus Superman, and I'll tell you why. Because, but just listen. Not because I think it's better. It's not. It's clearly worse and it's dumber and it makes less sense and is more like less in line with the character. But TV shows are a dime a dozen. They can crop one up here, crop one up there. They're popping up all over the place. How many opportunities do I get to see Batman entrenched in a movie universe with all of the other characters to see him as I love him? I got one. And I get another one in probably another decade or 5 years when they reboot this. But it's not very often that I get an opportunity to see the Batman that I want to see in the movies. And I didn't get that. And that's why it bothers me so much. But with the TV
But it was
shows,
only for one movie. This acts like Justice League. He's Batman again. Like he's Batman.
but he's still that same character though. You can't take away him murdering people. He still did it. So anytime he stands on some kind of moral high ground in these movies from now on, I'm like, well, you did it too. You need to be understanding. You need to understand. You need
But
to
he
not.
didn't murder anybody in Batman versus Superman. There were casualties along the way, but it wasn't It wasn't like straight up. Like his intention was. As I said, there were maybe some oopsie doopsies, some whoopsie daisies, some guy cut in the crossfire or exploding vehicle or whatever. You can't look. I don't think that it's fair to say that he full on murder. The definition, Paul.
Well, Batman's
murder,
rule isn't that he doesn't murder people. His rule is that he doesn't kill people.
It's the same thing. It's the same. I think it would be his rule is that he doesn't murder people.
No,
I would say killing that's an up or down. But
I've never read a comic where he says his number one rule is not murdering people. It's always not killing people.
Look, murder is. I think whatever happened in Batman versus
first of
Superman,
he does murder people in that movie.
Look, whatever happens in Batman versus Superman, okay, it's in a time frame that's very difficult for him, that he's dealing with a lot. We see this a lot, that these characters do some pretty wild things. Hey, you keep telling me that Omni-Man is redeemable arc. I don't see that. I don't see that. I don't right now. That character pretty far. They took that character pretty far. He straight up beat his son's face into a canyon. Like I don't.
Do you think Darth Vader was redeemable?
Exactly. It doesn't seem like that at first. I don't think he seems redeemable until Return of the Jedi and everything happens and stuff. So same with, and he went through a phase. Some things happened.
I'm not saying he's not redeemable. I think having Batman do something that isn't within his character and like is different from the comics, and then having him have a kind of redemption and learning this, I think that's fine. But that's not the character I know and love. The character I know and love doesn't need to be redeemed because, this goes back to what I said earlier. Some people don't find this interesting. I love it. I love idealism and looking up to be the best that we can in all situations ever, because that's all we can do. And Batman and Superman for me are the monoliths of that. They always do the right thing. They always put life above everything else. No matter what you've done, you always are redeemable in their eyes. You can come back. You can be incarcerated. You can this. They believe in redemption past just killing the person, this, that, and the other thing. And that's not, his character is one that always makes the right decision. And that's not interesting to some people. And that is to me. And he always does the right thing. And he always jumps in just in time to catch the person. And he always jumps in just in time to do the right thing. You know what I mean? And it's like, well, that couldn't happen in the real world. Well, I'm not reading it because I want to see the real world. I'm reading it because I want to see an idealistic vision of the best, and that's what I love about it. and that's not what he is in those movies.
And I do agree with you. I do agree. Like for me, I actually agree. I agree. That's why I enjoy the Batman, right? And he has those ideals. That's why I typically enjoy the story, Death in the Family, and that whole dynamic of, you know, you don't, you know, Joker and all that because of his morals and his and all that. But I also Dark Knight Returns is that's where, you know, they drew from, and just that kind of, we've been through all that. But I do understand what you're saying, because I do, right, that part of the character is it's integral to his story and to him and things like that, and I understand, you know.
And I understand why you enjoy Batman vs. I get
No,
it.
you
like,
don't.
I do.
No, you don't. You lie,
Yeah, I
and I
do.
know you know. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I know. And look, I think, you know, overall, I just think that these characters, with the times and like anything, they're gonna progress and things are gonna happen. I mean, look, people freaked out back when Injustice, you know, was written with the Superman stuff. They're freaking out now again with the movie. You know, people are freaking out with the Jonathan Kent stuff. I mean, look, like you said, they're all just characters. They're all comics. They're all
And
gonna
yeah,
be.
at the end of the day, let me be clear. I don't really care that Batman like does it affect me on a day-to-day basis, like my mood and anything, that Batman is not what I wanted to see in the movie in the Batman? No, I don't care.
I
It
know
doesn't matter.
it does. I know it does, Paul, and it's okay. You don't have to.
It doesn't matter. And I think there's only a couple people in the chat at this point, but anyone who watches this, anything like a movie or a book or like any kind of media you consume, like from a storytelling standpoint, don't let it affect you on an emotional level, because it doesn't matter. I promise you, it does not matter. It's pictures on a page, words on a page, video. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It should have no effect on your life.
Unless it's Batman
okay.
and Titans, then you should be very upset. There should be letters written to Geoff Johns and HBO Max. I want riots in the street. I'll be coordinating some of them, and
I think
there you go. That's it.
You shouldn't make judgment calls on people's personalities, on their intelligence, based on whether they enjoyed a movie, book, or comic, or anything like that. Because if you're doing that, then you're the dummy.
Yep.
And that's all I have to say about that.
Unless that movie is 2017's Justice League, then you're stupid. But anyways, no, I'm kidding. I know. There's some people that enjoyed that.
Unless you like Sucker Punch, then you're a dumbass.
Yeah, exactly. I can get on that sentiment. Actually, I can back that. That's an easy one to go. But yeah, man. Hey, Paul, this was great. You want to go ahead and let people know where they can find you, and or later this week? I mean, they can find you here on Mondays, obviously, but on Thursdays, what the hell, Caden, is going on? But on Thursdays they can find you at Into the West. And what are you going to be doing this week? I know last week you had Philip Kennedy Johnson.
Correct. This week we're just talking whatever comes out this week. Probably James Bond, some others this week. A lot of probably This will be a more topical episode than last time. Last time we had Philip Kennedy talking Superman and everything like that. So yeah, check us out 6 p.m. Into the West Comics on YouTube, Instagram, Twitter is into_comics. Come chat it up. Go check out the Philip Kennedy Johnson interview. We did one earlier, like a month and a half ago, and we did another one for New York Comic Con. He's great. He's a lot of fun to talk to. Maybe you get to learn about some comics that are going to come out and some ideas that he has, which is super cool. And yeah, we're going to live 6 p.m. Pacific every Thursday, and we're going to be live, should be about 4 o'clock Saturday the 16th for DC Fandom. Some of those particulars could change, but yeah, go check it out. Like, subscribe, comment, do that here as well. And at Austin's new, you're going to kill me at, what's it called?
Yeah, no, it's good. So we got like I said, we got the Little Big City Network coming real soon. Like I said, lots of cool stuff. We got sports shows. We're gonna be having like short films, skits, music performances, a lot of different things and shows going on over there. So that's gonna be a lot of fun. And then also a quick announcement: we got had an idea a couple months ago. They presented, and Ty and I have been working on now with the new channel. It's going to be this is going to be a lot of fun. It's like our first collaboration. We want to make a big thing out of it. And so we're doing a new series. It's going to be called What If? And the first first 4 episodes are what if the Pop Culture Corner ran the DCEU. And so that'll be fun where myself, Ty, and maybe a special guest will be presenting our full-on like takes on the DCEU and how we would set it up and all that stuff. And then it'll continue on and spin off into, so this will be kind of the event, and then it'll spin off into a series that Ty and I will produce and switch off hosting depending on the channel, where we bring in different YouTubers and different guests to do the same thing and present. So should be a lot of fun, a lot of cool things in the works. But guys, as always, thank you so much for being here. You guys are the best. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe. Check out other videos on this channel. If there's anything you're interested in pop culture corner wise, we'll probably talk about it. So make sure and be on the lookout for any new videos tomorrow. Jiving with Jack. As Paul said, Thursday, Into the West Comics, 6 p.m. Pacific Standard. And yeah, guys, thanks so much for being here. Y'all are the best. We do it for you, and we do it for the culture. Peace out.
Do anything for some time. I do anything, yeah. I do anything for some time. I do anything for some peace of mind, yeah. I do anything get me right. I do anything get me out of my mind, yeah. I do anything for some time. I do anything for some peace of mind, yeah. I do anything get me right, yeah. I do anything get me out of my mind, yeah. I do anything, yeah. I do anything for some reason, trying to put the pieces, yeah. I do anything, messing around with psychedelics deep in, yeah. I do anything for a reason, just to quit sleeping in. When you all alone feeling weak, and that's when them demons hit. I've been over my head, trying to keep pushing. Got some hard problems where I need cushion, yeah. Take my mind off it, taking in toxins, I know I shouldn't, yeah. But ain't been no options lately, ain't been so many losses lately. Man, I feel like I lost it daily. I've been running through weeds, chopping up trees, planting my seeds, baby. Stay in my head, I cannot leave, it's like a disease, baby. Going through it alone, whether you stay or whether you leave, baby. So hard to love when it ain't no love, you got what I need, baby. You got what I need. Take control of me, when I'm holding grief, you consoling me. I've been riding for you.